Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have no electricity in the village from I think 8 till 3 because they're repairing something. So I decided to take a trip into the bush and see what's happening. We lose electricity not regularly but often. Sometimes due to storms or bad connections. Sometimes we lose hot water, although my house we produce our own. Internet quite often goes down. All these things are talked about in prepping as if there's some apocalyptic scenario, but for us it's pretty much par for the course. You just adapt and find something else to do. Now the weather today, it is quite windy and occasionally it's spotting with rain, so I'm hoping that the microphone sort of covers it a bit. Today I'd like to talk to you about an excellent phrase I've just discovered, and it sums up a lot of what I believe. I can hear a tractor in the distance. They are loud. Experiences over possessions. Experiences over possessions. Now, I discovered this phrase from a YouTuber called Fearless and Far, and I really like his channel. I'll put a link in the comments in the description. It reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger, basically going out there into the world, trying to find unusual peoples and unusual activities, and putting himself in situations where he has to test his own mettle. I think it's excellent. I really do. Like I often say, we have one life in this form. You should be out there experiencing everything you possibly can. I personally identify myself, along with an attack helicopter, as a Gnostic. Now, by this I mean I believe in experiential learning. The only way to attain knowledge, understanding and wisdom is through experiential learning. In other words, going out there, doing something and learning from experience. The absolute opposite of this is belief. Belief often comes from hearsay or from what you've been told. It's second-hand knowledge, and when it comes to religions, quite often it's unsubstantiated second-hand knowledge, but you believe in it without any proof. Personally, I like to experience things and then discover for myself the truth behind them, because no truth is truly true. All truths are partial. Some things you may think will be absolutely super for you may turn out not to be, and some things you think you won't like, you may discover you really love. Experiential learning removes a lot of prejudice, unfounded prejudice, from the world. by actually going to different countries, meeting different peoples, experiencing their food, their culture, their music, their language, and how they think, can really change your perspective on the world. And it can make you a much, much better person. Nothing is black and white. Absolutely nothing. Without experiencing it yourself, there is always layers and layers of preconceived ideas and prejudice behind every thought. And this is what is belief. Experiences over possessions. Last year, 2020, showed us money is a very strange thing. Before 2020, we were just wasting money. We were earning it and spending it, earning it and spending it, going deeper and deeper into debt. Last year, because so many things were restricted, we stopped buying lots of the crap we had been. And one thing last year really showed us, as we were confined, locked down, quarantined, was that there are lots of things we would like to do, we would like to experience, which we were unable to. We were banned from doing so. So in some ways it showed us that experiences have much more value than a cupboard full of Chinese produced clothes which we'll wear maybe once or twice. Yet which previously we thought were essential for our existence. After all, what would people say if they didn't see us wearing the latest purple fashion? Or capri trousers, or whatever it was. These experiences that we were missing, we still don't have access to all of them. Travel is still greatly restricted and probably will be for the foreseeable future, maybe forever, unless you're wealthy enough to circumvent the dictatorial international legal system. But there are many things you can do locally. There are many things you can try and experience yourself. Even something as simple as trying different foods, cooking at home, doing something new. You might not like it, or you might not like all of what you do, but at least you'll be able to know why you don't like something, rather than just dismissing it outright before even trying. One thing I've always tried to raise my kids with is trying new foods from all over the world, especially different forms of meat. You know, whether it's kangaroo, crocodile, ostrich, snake, whatever it might be, just to try it. Lots of people I meet say, oh, I wouldn't eat Asian food, or I wouldn't eat curry, or I wouldn't eat paella. I personally don't like paella. I've tried it many times and I don't like it. I don't like seafood and I don't really like the tomato stuff. But you may love it. I even tried tofu, and as you probably gathered, I'm not really a soy boy. But tofu looks good, looks like meat, smells like meat, tastes like shite. That's not happening again. You can keep your tofu. You can convince me as much as you like what you think it is, but no. There are many experiences which put yourself to a physical test, where you actually push the boundaries of what you think you're capable of. Marathon running is one of these, although from what I've seen happen to my father's knees, I would not be a marathon runner. It does cost a lot on the human body. Mountain climbing. Many people set themselves the goal of Everest or Kilimanjaro or K2, but within your local area, within a few hundred miles, I guarantee there are hills and mountains you could climb, you could walk up. Test yourself. Get together with some friends and make a day trip or a weekend out of it. Experiences should push you beyond what you think you're capable of. They should take you to another level. One reason I like motorcycle riding is because sometimes after a hard day's ride, and I actually make it back alive and I park the bike up, the buzz I feel is incredible. When you're riding through torrential rain and hurricane winds, like trucks flying past you, trying to squeeze you off the road, and somehow you get home, you just feel incredible. You obviously feel incredible while you're riding, but normally on a nice sunny day. When you're actually going through poor conditions, you don't feel that good. It's afterwards you feel it, because you've done it. You pushed yourself, you didn't give up, you survived, you know what it's like. There was a book written in the 1970s by the old lady of a biker for other old ladies, and that pretty much sums up one of the experiences of riding. There are some extremes to experience, but you don't have to go for extremes. You can go for milder, step-by-step experiences. Like I always say about the bucket list, choose to do things you've always wanted to do and then go for them. For example, maybe you've always wanted a tattoo, but you've never done it, and you've always convinced yourself you don't have the time, you don't have the money, or what will it look like, blah blah blah. But I think if you look deep down, it's probably because you're worried about getting a tattoo, because it is painful. Are you going to be able to sit there for an hour or 3 hours? Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and get a tattoo and physically modify your body permanently, but if it is something you've always wanted to do, consider doing it. Some people try bungee jumping, some people try skydiving, maybe a day at the racetrack in a sports car. It's all about experiences, things you will remember for the rest of your life. An exotic holiday, perhaps. Now, there is a difference between a tourist and a traveller. Tourists generally go somewhere for a short period of time, maybe a day to a fortnight, and they go from A to B to C and do all the tourist sites. They take their photos and say they've been here, they've seen that. But what you're actually seeing as a tourist, it's not real. It's a modern recreation of reality. For example, you go to see one of the many castles we have here. What you're seeing is a reconstruction of a castle. But a castle was a living, breathing building filled with hundreds, even thousands of people doing different activities. It wasn't an empty place where you can't touch the walls and have to walk between a rope barrier. A traveller, on the other hand, goes to a country and tries to meet the people, tries to experience what life is like in that country. Try and be a traveller, not a tourist. Generally tourists, the only things they take away with them are photos and little ornate spoons with the names of the places you visited. Whereas a traveller takes away memories and experiences. Some good, some bad, but things that you'll remember for the rest of your life and may even change how you live. Experiences over possessions. Start focusing on what you can do, what you can try, rather than what you can buy. If you need something desperately, then get it. If it really will improve your life, then get it. But if it's just a trend or a fashion or another pointless item to put in your cupboard, don't. We already have enough shit. I read a couple of days ago about resources, Earth's resources. If the world started using the same amount of resources that we use in Europe, we would need 2.8 Earths to provide it. And as third world countries start getting wealthier, they want to buy more. They want more possessions, which is understandable. Unfortunately, we just don't have the resources for it. Especially not when our obsession with mobile phones, every year or every 2 years, we basically throw away something which contains rare minerals. And we just toss it because it isn't the latest model, the latest type. It isn't the right brand. It's still a functioning device, but it doesn't fit our image of what we should have. It would be far more useful if we used that mobile phone to aid us experience life, rather than just as a fashion statement. This earth is stunning, and there are so many places which are unique, both in terms of natural beauty and also human created beauty. And there are many peoples here who are very unique and which we should experience. But depending on where you come from, you have a slightly different perspective on what life is about. And those little idiosyncrasies can make visiting these people and spending time with them or seeing what they have created, it can give you inspiration for your life. You bring back a part of it. It's very hard to be creative when you're in constant isolation. You need to experience things to motivate you, to give you the muse to inspire others. Share the beauty, share the positivity, share your feelings. Please subscribe to my channel, watch my videos and like them, and from the stunning nature of the Carpathians, as always, be free.